Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Awesome Cast. We're doing another awesome interview today. I think you guys will get a kick, maybe even an Inazuma kick out of today's guest. We have Kiane Chula King. Kiane, thank you so much for taking the time.
Hi, I'm
Uh,
happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you. In our Discord, it's been Gunbuster this, Gunbuster that. I've been a primary offender in that respect. Everyone knows I'm a very big Anno fan, very big Evangelion fan. So having a new Gunbuster release with a new dub was very exciting for me. But let's just start out the way I usually do. What are some things that you've been working on lately that you can talk to us about?
At the moment, not too much because I actually just moved to Dallas. I relocated earlier this year.
Okay.
So it's been a process. I have to update my demo reel. I think that's my biggest next work in progress kind of thing. But I am brand spanking new to the industry, so getting into things is a little bit slower when you're new.
Yeah.
But it's been an experience. It's kind of nice thinking about how excited little me would be about this kind of thing that I've
For
been doing.
sure. Well, this is kind of an interesting situation because I don't think I've certainly talked to people at various points in their careers, but I don't
Mhm.
know if there's anyone that's been like quite, as new and in an interesting situation as you're in.
Yeah,
So, tell me a little bit, because for some folks it's like, okay, yeah, I've got the role, that was cool, and so on and so forth. I'm on to the next thing. But tell me a little bit about what your feelings were, what your reaction was when you found out you weren't just getting a role in a classic show like Gunbuster. You were the lead.
but I was floored. Oh gosh. Of all of the things to I think have as a first lead role, to be involved in Gunbuster of all things
Yeah.
is that's legendary. And I feel like, ooh, I'm genuinely honored, and it's been exciting the entire. I've watched the whole series, I think, like 3 or 4 times now that I've
Yeah.
had the chance, both dubbed and undubbed, and it's been. I've been able to watch it and recognize all of the references in modern anime as well. So it's been. It doesn't entirely feel real yet. Still a bit of a dream, and it's been very nice to see how the fan responses have been so far.
Yeah. I think that's something that's really worth pointing out is this being a fairly new endeavor for you. You played the role, and it's a very Noriko is not like a flat character. She goes in a lot of different places emotionally throughout, a 6 episode OVA.
She sure
Um,
does.
and you do such a great job of capturing that. And
Thank you.
I when I kind of was just after I watched it, I kind of went back. And I was like, okay, now wait a minute. I need to check. I need to check into this because like I no offense, but I hadn't heard of you prior to this, so I was like,
Oh,
oh,
none taken. I
uh,
mostly did fan dub things before this.
yeah. Well, everybody starts somewhere. It's not like this was just overnight or anything like that.
Mhm.
But I was just so floored by it because it is such an emotional journey that you take during the course of that show, and just to hear you go through it and be like, wow, this this is something. It was impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That does mean a lot.
I'm just kind of at a loss to express it because I was just so very impressed by your talent and your ability to tap into those emotions. It definitely felt like it felt real. It felt genuine, and I have to commend you for that.
Thank you. I grew up as a very emotional person in general, so I've felt those ups and downs myself.
Yeah.
And while I know a lot of people are able to sort of keep it in, I've never really been able to do that in the same way. But I think that's been all of those experiences I've managed to have myself have made it so much easier to be able to tap into them for acting works as well. So I'm actually kind of grateful for, in some cases, for all of the things and experiences I've managed to have throughout my life. It's been helpful in a lot of ways. And I think, and I've also managed to grow from it as a person and as an actress.
Yeah, I feel like one of the skills in acting that probably doesn't get talked about a lot is empathy.
Hmm.
Because you do have to be empathetic towards the character, but in order to do that, you have to really tap into something personal and real, and I feel like you did that there.
I did cry a couple of times during recording. Like just slightly tearing up, I think, rather than full on bawling, but I did
Yeah,
cry. I do get it. Like that kind of that point of depression where you're at your lowest. It's a very relatable feeling, I think.
yeah.
Um so it was something that I was able to get myself into.
And just like I said, just a fantastic job. But
Thank
I'm
you.
I'm 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 gonna stop. I'm gonna
You know
stop because
you're fine.
otherwise I'm just gonna keep doing that for the rest of the interview. But just to kind of move on a little bit and get to know you a little bit,
Mhm.
what first made you take an interest in acting?
Oh, it was from the womb. My grandfather, who is probably the most influential person in my entire life. He did stage like local theater, community theater plays just as a hobby, something that he did on his own. And me, who for the first like 5 or 6 years of my life was practically raised by the man. He did all of my babysitting. So I looked up to him like nobody's business. And he would run through these plays with me. We'd make things up all of the time, reenact scenes from movies. So I've always sort of had that in my blood. And I think what sealed the deal was when he passed away when I was 8. And the way that I felt would be the best way to honor his memory for me was to pursue this thing that both of us had in common and really enjoyed. I've kind of been at it since the get go, but to actually break into the professional world has been something that I've been like, oh, I hope you're watching, you know?
Yeah,
It means a lot to me.
that's a beautiful story.
Thank you. Yeah, I miss him a lot still. There's still points and times where it's been 20 years since he's passed, but there's still been some points and times where I do still feel it. I go through it, you know.
Yeah.
But he was a wonderful, wonderful, smart person.
Yeah, and it just says a lot about him that, even losing him at such a young age, that he made such an impact on your life.
Hmm. I'm grateful I got to know him. I wish I could have had the chance to know him as an adult too.
Yeah. And I know he'd be very proud of you for
I
what
think
you've
so, yeah.
accomplished.
Hmm.
Well, along those lines, as you've gotten older, as you started to make the move into being a professional, who are some of the people that have impacted you?
Ooh, so I had the luck, the pure luck of being able to meet Jello Apocalypse on YouTube. Brendan Blaber is what he's going by now for doing a lot of dub work. I have had the luck and pleasure to have gotten to know him like way back in the day, and we've been pretty close friends for a pretty long time. I want to say that out of everyone, all of the people in that friend group that we made have been able to push me forward and just elevate everything that I've needed upwards. By the way, Jello is an amazing director. Like I want to say out of everybody that I've worked with, he's given me the most specific examples of feelings and things that I can tap into. And like our recording sessions will go on for a very long time, but in a way that I always end up coming out feeling very satisfied with the work that I put out. So I want to say that I probably put a lot of stock into the kinds of things that he's done for me. And also Marissa Lenti, who was the director for Gunbuster Dub. I'm very, very grateful to have gotten to know them.
Marissa, a recent alumnus of the Awesome Cast, Awesome Interview
Oh,
chain.
hey!
Yeah, yeah.
They're so
She
cool.
she was the last Zoom interview I did. We just got back from MTAC, the Middle Tennessee Anime
Hmm.
Convention, where we did some interviews. But yeah, I talked to her a couple of months ago.
They're like very much someone I look up to.
Yeah, just a fantastic person, a lot of
Hmm.
fun.
And very spirited and an appreciator of the things that they do. both in
Yeah.
directing and acting. So it's been very nice to see that the progress that they go through as well.
And thank you for correcting me on the gendering. I
Oh no,
misgendered
you're
them.
fine.
Um, it's something I still find myself working on, but it is something I strive to do.
Hmm.
Anyway,
You're good.
it's one of those moments where it's just like, okay, well,
Nobody
it's
starts
something
out
that
perfect.
I've had to learn to just sort of shrug off making the mistake, not as in
Hmm.
it's not important, but just as in I'm going to be making those mistakes for a while.
You get
Um,
used to it. It's a process.
yeah, exactly.
But I think what making the other party feel the best that they can be and feel like more comfortable in their own skin is very important to me.
Yes, 100%. It's super important that they feel empowered and safe to be
Hmm.
who they are.
Very important to me, and I've been grateful to know a lot of people who have had those experiences.
For sure. And it's something that I feel like as a society we will gradually get better at it, but
I'm
uh,
already seeing it. It's been
yeah.
so cool.
And,
Like even Zoom, like they gave me the option to put down my pronouns, and I was like, "Oh, hey, that's cool."
yeah. Yeah, and it's good, and I feel like the more representation that we're able to get and the more that we're just able to make it commonplace, it'll get easier.
Hmm.
But looping back, although these are all important conversations, what is the biggest challenge for you as an actor?
I think sometimes there are points where I will record a scene that still gets accepted and gets the go ahead, and I still find myself feeling like I feel like I could have done better on that scene. Not that I've done bad at it, but I definitely feel like I could have done better. For example, I think since you've already seen the Gunbuster dub,
Yes.
there's some scenes where panic is a big emotion that's involved, and I heard the original dub actress, who is the original Japanese dub actress,
Yes.
who is amazing at panic, like oof, 10 out of 10, has that oomph that you really need to feel for those kinds of things. And I feel like I fell a little bit flat on some of those like space scenes through the middle of the series, like episode
Yes.
3 and 4, while she's go seriously going through it.
Hmm.
After Smith and such. Man, I feel like I could have put in just a little bit more if I had a little bit more experience and a little bit more practice. But that's something to work on, I think. Rather than seeing it as a true failure, you can look at it as something that you want to improve.
Yeah. And I feel like that's one of those things that you as a professional are going to notice and think, "Oh man, I could have done better." But
Yeah.
like everyone who watches is going to be like, "No, it's great. I don't know
Yeah.
what she's talking about."
I do. I'm looking forward to seeing like potentially some critic reviews of the dub as well, so I can see like maybe what some of them think as well.
Hopefully they're constructive.
Yeah, well, constructive criticism is how the world goes round, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but there's always, "Oh, dub suck." Brr. So that's
Yeah,
that's my character of the
yeah.
internet.
I've seen him. I'll admit, back when I was like a teenager, I was one of them.
How dare you?
How dare I? Oh.
So, in keeping with the theme of like some of the challenges of being an actor, one question I like to ask folks, because it is one of those occupations where failure isn't just, a fact of life. It's pretty much the norm. I always like to talk about, they say in baseball, if you succeed 3 out of 10 times, you're a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
If you succeed like 1 out of 10 times in acting, you're
it's
do
very normal to not make an audition that
yeah,
you turn in. Yeah, that's
yeah.
super normal.
You can turn in tons and tons of auditions and get
Hmm.
very few, if any, responses. How do you stay motivated?
Determination and a genuine love for the craft. This is also not necessarily an industry that pays you as well as they could be,
Right.
but nonetheless, it's still something that I love so much to do that I think the pay is something that's almost like an afterthought, you know?
Yeah.
So to me, losing a certain amount of things is just a part of the process of not only getting better as an actress, but putting your name out there. Because, even if you didn't make the audition, you don't necessarily see what's behind the scenes. You
Right.
don't know if the director looked at you and maybe even put you into like the top 3 final options. So even not getting an audition puts your name in a location where they have the option to potentially remember who you are. There's never a there's never a turned in audition that is completely useless. It's all a process of growth. So I've never really seen it as fully a bad thing to not get something.
I think that's a very healthy mindset to have, and one that's almost required if you're going to make a career out of something like acting.
Oh, definitely. Like back when I was maybe really young, I remember those things hurting me more. But you do build up that skin over time, and it's the people who really really want to do it who are able to adopt that kind of mindset, I think.
So, Kyle, what are some of your interests outside of acting?
I'm big in writing, I think. It's writing and tabletop are both things that I super enjoy to do. So I've done a lot of like written D&D role play kind of things before.
Uh-huh.
I'm actually just wrapping up one of my games that I've been running. It should be ending within a week, and it's very satisfying to be that close. But I've done so many of them; they're just an absolute joy, and I've made so many friends from them. It's been, I want to say that's my biggest secondary hobby for sure, or
Do
I guess
you
my
run
biggest main hobby.
do you run like your own setting, or do you use an existing setting?
I've usually done modern day or slight future in more of a realistic setting, but
Okay.
I think before the one that I'm currently running, I did do two fantasy with like lots of magic, and they're all like custom systems that I do. Vaguely based on Weaver Dice, if you've heard of that. Some of my statting system was inspired by Weaver Dice, but I've done a lot of changes. Actually, the one that I'm currently running is based on Everyone is John, if you've heard of that.
I have not. Although that sounds like an awful. Jeez, I can't
Oh yeah, it's
imagine. That would be awful, guys.
everybody is fighting for control of one player character.
Oh
Very
man.
fun. I enjoy those a lot.
Well, that's so cool that you do your own system, you do your own settings. That requires a lot of creativity that I don't think I possess.
Well, I mean, it's you don't do it by yourself. You have like multiple, the ones that I do. We have multiple DMs and we bounce ideas off of each other. It elevates it that much.
Wow, that is fantastic. That we could probably do a whole interview on that, but
I mean,
that is
yeah,
so
I can go
cool.
into more details. Oh boy,
Yeah,
someday.
that is so cool. That's so cool. Do you guys do anything as far as like Twitch streaming or anything right now, or are you just you know
Since the ones that I mostly run personally are written, we don't stream them. They're generally private, but I do have like sometimes we put like art on the blogs of like the bosses, et cetera, that we've done. But I've never streamed any of the written things. I have streamed some tabletop with Jello and Co. It's been a while since I've been in a streamed one, I think. I think the most active one that is currently being released is Space Ditties, which we recorded about a year and a half ago and is being released in little episodes.
cool?
That one's cool.
Kiane, I'm gonna let you go, but before I do that, if people want to follow along with what you're doing on social media or anything like that, where can they do so?
My most active thing right now is on Tumblr, which is the username Chulacabra, sort of like Chupacabra, but with
That's a
just with the
fantastic username.
yeah. I've used it for years. But then my second most active would be my Twitter, which is just Kiane Chula King. And that's the one where I mostly keep my business and work things are on there.
Okay, well, fantastic. Kiane, it has been so wonderful getting to talk to you. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to yet another production of the OSMcast, your podcast for everything awesome. You can find us online at awesomecast.com, OSMcast.com, or, wherever you find your podcasts, just search for Awesomecast. You can also find us on the social medias, Awesomecast at Twitter or on Facebook. course, you can also find our wonderful interview guru, the greatest living interviewer, John Robbins, at J5isLive. Or perhaps you'd like to follow our amazing editor, Anna, at Angel Darkfire. Or just me, at It's Basil Time on Twitter. Our theme song is produced by DJ Inabito, and you can find him online at djinabito.com. And once again, thanks for listening to the Awesome Cast. We appreciate you.